My good name is Modoni Njogu, and I'll be the moderator for this particular panel. Modoni is an advocate, 10 years in practice, and I'm the managing partner of Njogu and Associate Advocates. Welcome very much to this particular session. We're going to be talking about regulation, and also we're going to be talking about opportunities for lawyers in this particular space in terms of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And I'm hoping you're going to enjoy the session. I think I'm also here to learn as well of all the opportunities. I've been in this space in terms of crypto and blockchain from a legal perspective, and also I'll be an added student waiting to learn from our guests today. Mohan and Deepak, we normally say in Kenya, karibu sana, meaning you're most welcome to this particular session. So we're going to kick it off with a bit of introduction from your end. If you could kindly tell us what you do, what are you doing in this particular space for regulation in terms of crypto and blockchain, and what is the top of your mind as a business imperative that regulation must be there? Kindly proceed. We can start off from Mohan.
Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing great after this afternoon. And I think I'm audible to everybody. So let me introduce myself, what exactly we do and what exactly our background is all about. We're there in India, in the US, in Singapore, whether in Dubai, we're normally into fintech and blockchain space, anything and everything related to regulation and law, where money and technology comes in. That's the space of ours, where we're there since last 15 to 18 years of experience in the same space, and blockchain is absolutely a new stuff. It's all about 5 to 6 years of story. But as far as in blockchain, every government is talking about, we love blockchain.
All right, so hello everyone. Our friends from our fraternity, from the legal background, most of you are from the legal background. So we'd like to start with our own, my own introduction. So I am Deepak Jain. I practice in India. I am a chartered secretary by profession. I have done my CFA as well. I work with multinational companies. I take care of their legal part, mostly compliance, business structure, execution of the strategies. We build the strategies and we execute them. As Mr. Mohan said rightly, we are present in India, Dubai, Singapore, Estonia, that is one of the blockchain country in Europe, and the US, of course. So this is about me and our company. I think Mr. Mohan has joined us now. So I'd like to say something, Mr. Mohan.
So you all can see me now.
We are still struggling with your video.
Deepak, can you, can you see my video?
No.
Some issue, I don't know, but okay. Let's see. Let's proceed in the. Yeah, some people say they can see. Can see. Yeah, Danny said he can see.
All right, just proceed as we get your video for everyone else to see.
Yeah, please, you can put a question mark, maybe people can,
All right,
some people say they can see Deepak, some people say they can see me, I don't know.
But I think, Mr. Mohan, you are not, visually available to most of them, because they are saying that you are not available on visual. So I think, yeah, now, you came for a second. Yeah, again gone. Fine. Now it's good.
Now I'm there?
Yeah, it's good to go.
Yes, good to go. Now we can see you.
Now you can see me. Okay, some issue is with my video stuff. I don't know. So let me, the introduction already given by Deepak. Then let's talk about what exactly bothering about the blockchain. Most of the countries, they are actually, they talk about, we would like to implement blockchain in X, Y, Z. But when you talk about crypto, they have their own reservations. They have their own reservations. But at the end of the day, blockchain without crypto, nobody knows about, before. And if you talk about Bitcoin, after Bitcoin, then comes the blockchain technology. So regulating the blockchain, cryptocurrency space, because all the way when you start crypto stuff, it's all about decentralization, power in the hands of the people. That's what the main motto of crypto. That's its decentralization. That's from where everything starts. But now the question is, without regulation means what? Regulation means some authority, some central power has to control it. There comes a big challenge when you talk about regulation. But if you can simplify it, regulation is possible. It should be by the people, for the people. That should be the principle. That principle, I always say, if you follow the cooperative principles, it is very much possible to regulate it. And regulation is imperative. Otherwise, the balance of the world, it will not be there as far as the way the whole world has already structured financially. It will not be possible to run. Otherwise, crypto is here to stay. That's, everybody knows that crypto is here to stay, but regulation is imperative. That's what our view is all about. And if you have some specific question, let's come to that so that we can elaborate more on it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mohan. I think just to borrow from what you said, that regulation is very imperative. And I remember, I think there's a statement you once said that it's easier to regulate crypto than it is to regulate, cash or, gold. But just to bring it up a little bit and try and see how is the regulation space from the Asian perspective, coming down all the way to countries like India, where you also have offices there, countries like Singapore, America. How does the regulation space look like from that particular perspective on a general format?
See, at the end of the day, if you talk about US has regulation, but state-wise. They don't have any federal regulation so far. They have regulation state-wise. So again, they actually experiment the regulation on localized basis. So far, it's not concrete. Be very careful about it. It's not concrete. And as far as if you are talking about Asian perspective, if you talk about Asian perspective, the leading country is always Singapore. Singapore has done so far so good. They have done a lot of good work as far as regulation is concerned. But again, they are also in experimental stage. It's not concrete. Okay. Then comes down to India. India is a huge country, and having it's a developed country. It's not still a developed country. It's developing nation. But frankly speaking, as far as we observe, it's already developed in other perspective already. And if you talk about crypto regulation in India, in 2018, there is less understanding of, there was a different kind of situation then. But now, Government of India and other people in India, regulatory bodies, they are maturing slowly and certainly. If you look at maybe 15, 20 days back, our finance minister was very much positive about crypto regulation. They don't want to, say that, okay, we're not going to deny it outrightly. We're going to regulate it. We will be there with crypto. And if you talk about not regulating crypto in India, it will be a blunder for Government of India. Reason, when there is no regulation, there is some other solution for the individual if they would like to do something wrong. And it's already there. That's why if you go through my article on gold and cash, I always say regulating cash and gold is much more difficult than regulating crypto. Why? Crypto is a digital asset. When you say digital asset, anything digital is traceable. Anything digital is traceable. It depends upon your technical capability. If FBI in US can track the transaction, why not other government can track it? It needs a mass mobilization. As far as the regulatory is concerned, that should come together and frame it, because it cannot be a localized legislation. It should be a global effort. If India would like to regulate, they can regulate, but again, the challenge is technology. If you heard about dark web, sitting in Kenya, somebody can attack Indian stuff, and sitting in India, somebody can attack Kenyan stuff. You understand that. There are two different locality, two different nation, two different theory. But crypto and digital asset should be a global perspective. I always say it should be a global perspective until unless global organizations would come forward and ask all the countries to come together and formulate something concrete. Regularizing locally is absolutely a temporary solution. The example is Turkey. If you heard about yesterday's news, Turkey banned Bitcoin and other stuff. As far as, as a payment solution, to make it more clear, Turkey has banned Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency only on payment settlement method, not as a digital asset. Okay, get into the news. So people are talking about Turkey banned it. Turkey banned it as a payment settlement method. As far as crypto is concerned, digital asset is concerned, again, I always say it is digital asset. It cannot be a payment settlement method. Cannot be. You cannot treat Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as a payment settlement method or a legal tender. You can treat it as asset, and very well, gold can be replaced with crypto, because the age is digital age. And without this age is digital age, and Corona, COVID forces us more to be digital. So this is what my perspective is all about. Please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Deepak, just to bring you in, and I think what Mohan has said, we need to have a global regulation that pertains to, cryptocurrencies or digital assets. But then again, we are also aware that this landscape keeps changing to a point where it's almost sometimes impossible for the regulation to catch up with the innovation. How does all these global countries be able to strike that balance to actually have some form of regulation that speaks to all? Deepak?
All right. Yeah. Am I audible to all of you now?
Yes.
My voice is clear. All right. So when you
Yes.
talk about the global regulation, so let's start with the basic fundamental thing of the technology. Technology itself says it's a decentralized. It's a decentralized in nature, but what regulators are trying to do, they are trying to make it with a centralized in approach. So what we can say, decentralized in nature, we always discuss with our clients, decentralized in nature, but centralized in approach. Okay. So when we see the regulator part, regulator has to understand the technology, then they can design the regulation. So for example, we can say when we talk about US and UK, they are pretty much flexible in trading. They are allowing their citizen, I mean their people, to trade in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. But we have to keep in mind that cryptocurrency cannot be treated as a legal tender. Okay, so it, as the name itself suggests, that it's an asset, it's a digital asset. So like even the Dubai, the DMCC, Dubai currency, commodity and currency place is itself coming with the regulation. Okay, India is planning to come with the regulation. They will be more focusing on the technology, less on crypto. Okay, there will be certain exceptions. In 2018 past already, there was a ban on exchange working, not on exchange working. Basically, there is a ban on banking service to the crypto exchanges. So it means they have not banned Bitcoin outrightly. They have not banned cryptocurrency outrightly. They have banned services to the crypto exchanges, because the law to the government is not, they don't understand the technology much. So when we talk about Singapore, they have tried to regulate virtual assets. They have put some checks. They have said that these assets are allowed to come in this way. One can come on ICO or assets of currency offering, but there is a minimum way. There should be KYC, there should be this, that. Regulation is there, but we have to understand the regulation should be along with the technology. So this is my say on it.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Mohan, again, bringing you back. I like what Deepak has said, that we should have the technology itself is decentralized in nature. But when we're looking at regulation, we should look at it from a centralized perspective. One of the things that is normally stated with these technologies is that we are not really trying to regulate the technology. We are trying to regulate the activities within the technology. And here is where we'll find activities like Know Your Customer, AML. You'll find actions towards the Financial Action Task Force. What would be your take in regards to the balance again, when we're talking about the Financial Action Task Force rule, the travel rule? What are these activities that should be regulated? When we look about taxation, what are we regulating? Are we regulating the technology or the outcome that comes from the technology?
See, as far as technology is concerned, frankly speaking, regulating technology is absolutely a difficult task. Regulate, because one fine day kid can change the technology, can come up with something differently, and approach will be different. So we can only regulate the outcome. We have to think about the outcome. And as far as FATF is concerned, FATF, you know, if you look at the global perspective, few countries are not part of FATF. And FATF can only suggest, cannot enforce. That's the truth. If as a country, I'll say, I'll not go by you, FATF, even if I'm a member country, FATF can't force me the way it should be. There is a lot of complicated process. They are coming up with, you know, how the data can be shared, how it can be protected. All those things are okay. They have their own traveler guide. Okay, they will do that. But at the end of the day, it's all about countries to accept it and formulate their local legislation on the basis of that and cooperate with the other countries as well. First, regulating technology is impossible. Regulating outcome is absolutely possible. How it should be, it can be regulated. And constant sharing of data from one country to another will make life more easier for the global community to safeguard. I do believe digitalization comes at forefront now, and every country has to accept. It has to be, you have to cooperate with another country because your life is in digital lifeline, okay? So maybe you can create your own boundary as far as when you see the GDP of one country, the currency value of another country is different from each other. Now, this cryptocurrency is impacting the valuation, the growth, and a lot of things when it talks to normal money. Even few countries are so much affected, they keep on printing their new currencies. That's the truth. That's the truth behind it. And all the big institutional investors, they are behind cryptocurrency in a high voltage drama right now across the globe. Maybe everybody's talking about Bitcoin will reach $300,000 even. Why not? It will reach. Who said no if institutional investors are purchasing and not, you know, circulating across? So that's also the probability. Right at this moment, it's imperative for all the regulatory bodies across the globe to come up with a regulation where mutual respect of the countries is needed. Otherwise, there will be strong imbalance soon in case of normal money flow. That's what I believe in. And outcome has to be restricted ASAP.
Thank you so much, Mohan. I think key takeaway from that particular statement is even with regard to the regulation, and saying that as much as the Financial Action Task Force is an intergovernmental body, there are diplomacy repercussions that if we may not apply to it, that they are going to affect, our relations with other countries. So it's very important that we have sort of a central ground that grounds us in terms of what regulation should look like. Deepak, again, would want the viewers just to understand when we talk about the travel rule, what exactly are we talking about? And what is the particular impact of this rule to businesses that run in the crypto space or blockchain space?
Okay, so let me just briefly talk about the travel rule. So how this travel rule actually came into the picture is that even before the crypto, yes. So Financial Action Task Force (FATF) in US takes care of all the financial transactions movement, transmission especially, and there is another department called Financial Crime (FinCEN). Okay, so FATF and FinCEN has been doing travel rule in case of the banking transaction. Okay, so what is travel rule? So briefly, I would say travel rule is something from one place you are transferring money or the currency to other place. So there will be originator place and there is a receiver place. Okay, so let's say any virtual service provider VSP, any VSP in any VSP, any user has an account and they transfer, let's say $1,000 or $3,000 worth of currency or amount, okay, from one place to other place. So in that case, at both the place, both the VSPs has to report that this guy has this account number, this transaction happened in their in their regular reporting, let's say weekly reporting or monthly reporting, they have to report this is the originator detail, and the receiver VSP has to disclose this much has received for this user. So when we say, as Mr. Mohan rightly said, we can't regulate the technology. So what FATF and other this kind of regulators, they're trying to regulate the source. They're trying to regulate the user's activity from one place to other, how this activity is happening. It should not funding the terrorism. It should not go against their AML KYC policies. That's why they're placing this. This has already been there in the banking transaction. As per the Banking Service Act (BSA) in US, travel rules are already there. If you transfer $3,000, it is already there. Okay, so the same thing they are trying to replicate in case of the virtual currencies. I should not say currencies, virtual assets. Okay, so I think to some extent, where the big PSPs, those who have a good money, good infrastructure, maybe they can place this. But those who have a small VSPs, I think they need more time, more infrastructure, and information to comply with this regulation. I think in kind of exchanges, peer-to-peer exchanges, peer-to-peer currency exchanges, maybe in big exchanges it's possible, but the wallet, where you are maintaining a wallet like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or Ledger, Cold Wallet, I don't think so. There is any way out for this travel rule.
All right. Mr. Mohan, would you like to add something on the same?
See,
Mohan?
as far as travel rule is, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Yeah. So as far as the travel rule is concerned, travel rule for digital asset is a difficult task to implement. Be very, very sure. When you say, first of all, exchanges are there everywhere in the world, because exchanges will be the reporting place. Like banks, they will replace with exchanges. Okay. Even exchanges is of two things. One, people are there, they are running their centralized exchange, and P2P exchange. When you're talking about P2P, peer-to-peer, again, it gives a peer-to-peer means you and other party dealing with each other, where the exchange doesn't have any say. Okay. Then comes the KYC. If you both are dealing with each other, as a third party service provider, I am providing the technology. I don't need your KYC. So that way they are operating from, in case of P2P, few people are running their own. So as local Bitcoin exchange, local exchange. So issue is much bigger than what exactly we can see. But yes, if local government can tighten the noose and they keep on issuing license to the exchanges, and physical check will be there, and internal, when you say internet service provider, ISP has to track all the IPs in the localized basis, it will be, it will make life easier for the FATF to regulate this reporting. It is possible, but it is complicated. Everybody should come under one umbrella. Then only it is possible. Localized control, coming up with regulation will not sustain. That's what my complete view is all about. Because people will go out of their territory and do something else. And they are currently doing. All the Ponzi scam guys in crypto. Crypto is right now a hub for Ponzi operators, which is the biggest threat for the industry. And the stakeholder in crypto industry should come up and strictly take care of these guys. It has to be, they should report, they should cooperate with the government. Then only the industry will sustain. Otherwise, it will be again a bubble where I can see there will be very big dangerous situation in future, and all the government agency will come on all these crypto industries and they can stop it altogether. That's the main issue. So current situation, global formalization, local regulation, and cooperation from stakeholders is very much necessary. If you see every minute, one of the crypto exchanges is coming in different part of the world on their own way. And these techies, they thought we know everything without knowing the risk factor. And few of the techies, they're there inside bar right now. I know many of them. As litigation, lot of litigations are coming across the globe. We are very busy to solve them. When we talk to those guys, new guys, techies, they are so confident. After doing the crime, they don't know what is the crime is all about, but still then they have done the crime. So yes, when you say FATF, travel rule, these are all I say. Big words, big things, but it needs a lot of attention and minute evaluation of the stuff to control it minutely. Otherwise, it takes a lot of time and it's difficult.
Thank you so much, Mohan. I think we're running a bit out of time, but the most important question, I think, for this particular forum, and I like what you said, that techies are, going aloof and doing all these things. They probably don't know whether this is a crime. They haven't read the regulations that either pertain to a particular jurisdiction. They have not avast themselves with either their own jurisdiction. So a lot of things that are going on between there are not legal. And that's why the legal mind comes in. What are these opportunities? Because we have an audience that is full of legal minds. What are these opportunities? When we talk about blockchain, are we talking about the technicalities which the techies have to deal with, or is there space in this ecosystem for lawyers?
Everything and anything. The whole world, remember one thing, the whole world is running and evolving around lawyers. Be very honest.
Yes.
So yeah, question number one, whether you would like, you must be a techie to understand all this. I would say yes, if you know technology, it will be easy to interpret the law. Because it's technology plus law. It is, let's say, fintech. It should be, if you would like to know how Bitcoin works, how DeFi works, how NFT works, then you need to know what is that. And you must have that intelligence to connect. Then only you can connect with the law. Answer is perfectly fine. But, as far as normal lawyers, we have studied criminal law, we have studied civil law, we have studied corporate law. Apart from this, start studying technology a bit. That will help you out, because next generation, I'm pretty sure we're not going to go to court. We are going to address everything and anything from our boardroom or maybe from our bedroom. This is what is going to happen because of the situation across the globe. Along with that, put on your thinking cap and let's study technology a bit. And in my case, the advantage is I started off my career as a technocrat, then get into law. If somebody will say how blockchain works, what is solidarity, what is Python, what is wallet, it's nothing new to me. I can connect it. So yes, that's an added advantage. But if you're a lawyer, you have logic. Law and logic both are interlinked. You have good logic, that's why you are a lawyer. Got it? So logic means technology. You can win the race. And for young lawyers, trust me, for young lawyers, it's a big opportunity. You have to jump in. You have to jump in. There's a big space, lot of vacuum. We are not finding guys who understand all this. I'm not talking about Africa. I'm even talking about US. I'm talking about all those guys. Those are talking about blockchain. They don't really connect law with blockchain. That's where we have the advantage. You can take the advantage for sure.
Thank you so much, Mohan. I think in simple words, everyone has a space within the ecosystem. And as long as we use logic and law, it will come to fruition. Just to break even just down a bit, there's so much work in this area. You can actually be a legal consultant who does this. You can actually get into policy formation. You can actually get into legislative work where you're always tracking the regulation that is always coming out from different jurisdictions just to try and see what is there. You can get into legal compliance, which is no different from what you said, Mohan. It's just the same way that we are applying corporate commercial law when you are trying to see what is supposed to be complied with. It's the same thing with the blockchain space as well. And you can also get into, crypto forensic investigations. There's so much work for lawyers. There's really so much work for lawyers. Deepak, we don't want to leave you behind in this conversation. What would be your words to people or lawyers who want to come into this space?
All right. So basically, being a lawyer also from the legal background, I would say I have zero technology background. I have not done any technology things. But from last 5-6 years in the industry, I have studied what is Ethereum blockchain, what is blockchain, then Ethereum, BTC, I mean Bitcoin, then so many coins on ERC20 platform, what is DeFi, how it works. So I understand from my practical experience, I'm telling you, I understand. Then we sit with the client, we design their structure. There are a lot of things being a lawyer you can do in this space. You can sit with the client, you can design the strategy, you can design their business structure. You can understand not just local law, but the international law as well. Okay. Accordingly, you can set up the team, you can get into the contractual agreement with the different team members, you can get the work done. Okay. So when it's an opportunity to understand not just local laws where you are practicing, but also the international from where the people are coming on your platform. So basically, when you talk about that it's a technology, it's a fintech, it's a blockchain, it's a global platform. Okay, you can't stop people to come on your platform because it's all on web. Okay, so you have to understand from where your community is coming, what law says. So for example, some countries says we don't allow people to deal in Bitcoin. So for example, even the FATF, World Bank, IMF, what they says, the dealing, there are so many sanctions on Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen people. So what we do, we should understand why these sanctions are there, how it is important for our project. So we restrict those jurisdictions to access our platform direct from their local IPs. Okay, so this is law. In that sense, you can apply your jurisdiction acquittance, your legal quotient, and accordingly solution will be there. Okay, so it's just a simple thing. You have a basically you practice in corporate law. There is a one client from oil industry, so you have to know what is the oil industry law is. Then you can go into the code and design their policy and design their case. Similarly, what is blockchain, what is there in the technology, accordingly you can design the strategy, you can design the structure, the policy, and of course the terms and condition for the project.
Practically, as a lawyer, it's the ethics from our side. If you don't know something, don't get into. What Deepak said, I'm strongly disagree with it. Okay. I'm strongly disagree with it. Without understanding, never suggest. Don't take chance. Client is coming to you with high expectation. You need to, because if you say, I'm going to suggest one of the project for how to run it, what are the legal risks? In case of a blockchain-based project, in case of a crypto project, what it involves? It involves local financial regulation. It's finance act related to finance, act related to IT. Apart from it, local criminal law. Then comes the next part. International law related to criminalization. You just don't say that, oh, we are going to guide you for AML, consumer protection. Those are all small things. Apart from it, lot of points are there where you need to catch it up. Otherwise, you are sitting in one country and doing a crime, whereas, let's say example, somebody sitting in Kenya, somebody sitting in US, okay? You catch hold of one customer in US or something gone wrong with a US citizen, for your kind information, there is a different relation, there is a different diplomatic relation between both the countries. You can be penalized. You don't know the US law, you have done the crime. So when, as a lawyer, we need to understand it deeply before suggesting. It is not easy. You have to read, you have to research, you have to be sure before giving any suggestion. Opportunities are plenty, but you need to work hard. That's what my words. Don't say that I'll go through, I know this, I studied that, then I learned this. No, don't be so special. Reason is, then you are going to trouble your client,
This is
which is
what I
not your
said.
right.
This is what I said. You have to understand the law of the international law apart from the local law. Accordingly, you can design the strategy like we have restricted few countries because the law is so stringent there. This is what I've said there, because until unless you do your research, you don't do your, just read few articles and you advise your client. No, you have to understand the law internationally and locally. Then you can design the strategy and you can design their terms and policies for the project itself, where the law actually, this is the role of the lawyer. Lawyer can't comment on the technology. This should be the technology, this no, they can think from the legal perspective. This should be there because this law says you can't do a terrorism activity in just by saying we don't know who is dealing with our project. We can't say like that, so basic funda is common. Then technology wise you just have to upgrade yourself, that's it.
In conclusion, would say that as a lawyer, I think one of the basic principles and tenets that we were taught is where to find the law. So you cannot read articles about a particular jurisdiction and think that you have found it. You actually need to go deep, dig, and understand the various statutory provisions that apply to that particular technology. And I think what we've been seeing a lot is already existing legislation that is being amended to include, things like cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology altogether. Even just to wind up so that we can try and get into the questions, what is your take on that? Should we have a complete overhaul of the laws? Because it feels as if we are applying the 21st century technology to the 20th century, rules and regulations. Should we come up with complete frameworks for cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology? Just as we wind up so that we can take questions.
Yeah. It's all about without a base, without the base, you cannot create the law. Okay. When you say 20th century law, we are not going to apply on 21st century. Things are different, but perspectives are almost same. Okay. You want to catch hold of a criminal. The criminal is doing the act in different ways, and we are going to formulate our regulation for the way he's doing, and we have to penalize him. Okay, that's it. So yes, the people, those who framed the laws for 20th century, are not good enough to frame the law for 21st century. As I said, without knowing technology, the person will never understand how to control the output. Even suppose I'm a technocrat, I'm going to explain something to a normal lawyer, I'm 100% sure he will take a lot of time to understand the same. Okay, so the regulation whichever is coming up with, it should be absolutely new, but the basic and fundamentals will be remain same. That's
All
what
right.
my
Thank
take
you.
on it.
Thank you so much, Mohan, for that. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. I don't think there are any more questions, but as well, if there are any, you can directly channel them to the addresses that have been given on the chat section. And you can connect with our panelists. Thank you so much.
Everything already given, and thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Are you coming to Kenya, Mr. Mohan?
Let the COVID over. We'll be there all over in Africa. It will be our first trip, and hope we can connect better. See you after
definitely.
COVID.
See you after
Thank
COVID.
You.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mohan. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.